Okay, guys, it's another Sunday night live session, except it's Wednesday. I'm the editor-in-chief of the Watercraft Journal. My name is Kevin Shaw. Thanks for tuning in. This is to be the last live podcast of 2022. Let's see how many times I screw up the year in today's podcast, because I'm gonna. So, that's what I do. Anyway, this one is going to be kind of fun, kind of just easy lifting. Not a lot to talk about. Obviously, not a lot of news as we are in between the Christmas, New Year's break. So industry is kind of on, kind of chilling out right now. But I want to give you guys a little bit of news, a little bit of updates on the magazine itself. I am about halfway through the script for the Mudbug video. We have a video on the Riva air filter kits. There's a new, they started a earlier this year, because it's not 23 yet. Earlier this year, Riva finally got what they had been working a long time on, and that was a proprietary set of air filters that weren't just plain K&N air filters. And quite frankly, because the K&N air filter does not respond well to water and doesn't have the same filtration, and they wanted to be able to have good water filtration and particle filtration and not get soggy and not, wad up. And so they worked for a long time with different materials, and they finally came out with their own version of a performance air filter element. And we went out early in the year, before the summer, and was able to film with them and go through the whole shebang with Dave Bamdis and the team at our, the research and development team at Riva. And I did a video with them, but I never got the green light to go forward with the video. And I got roped into a conversation with the IGSBA, Dave Bamdis, Hot Products, a bunch of other guys, regarding the podcast that I did on watercraft safety and future rules for watercraft racing and things like that. They were not terribly responsive to the ideas, quite frankly, because a lot of them are making a lot of money off of it, and so they kind of they really push back against the idea of restricting watercraft, restricting full-size and even recreation-sized watercraft on the closed course. And they were like, oh, no, we're not going to do that. No. And I was like, yeah, I know you won't do that. I know you won't. Because change is hard. And this would cost people money. So anyway, but they were fine with some of the safety things that I suggested. Basically, what they need is a tidal wave of racers flooding them and screaming their heads off, going, the only way to fix this is to radically change it. And racers aren't going to do it either. So nothing's going to change. Just like, the election process that's been completely corrupted in this country, nothing's going to change until people actually cause a ruckus. So expect no new changes for watercraft racing. Expect nothing, no improvements. It's going to march along the same exact way because no one has the stones to stand up and do anything. So anyway, I talked to the right people. The right people aren't interested. So, I did my part. But all that has to be said is that we have a video from Riva Racing on the new air filter elements coming out. That'll be in a couple weeks. And then the next video after that will be the Mudbug one. The next one after that will probably be the Strapino one. And the one after that will be the Explorer Pro. I, frankly, am not terribly motivated to do the video on the Explorer Pro. The footage is 2 months old, or older than that. It's 3.5 months old. And writing the script for it is just a slog. I'm not even 2 paragraphs in, and I hate it. It's just, I hate what I've written. I'm not happy with it. And it's really hard to be motivated to write 2,000 words on something that you did not enjoy without it being just a total and complete curb stomping. And I don't want it to be a curb stomping because it's not for me. It's not my thing. It does not interest me on every possible level. It is, yeah. Without being crude, it's just nothing about it appeals to me. So it's really, really hard to write that story and write that script and then record that script and feign interest. So I'm going to do it. I have to do it. It needs to be done. It's just something I just really, really don't want to do. So, and it's not going to be glowing. It's not going to be like, it's wonderful. It's just going to be like, guys, it's not for me. This isn't for me. Spiritually, I'm wholly against it. Every fiber of my being is against it. I've read the comment section, and there's a bunch of freaking jackwads who are like, it's great. I love it. It's wonderful. I disagree with you, Kevin. I'm like, then why comment? Why care? I don't know. When I see something I do not care about, I just move on. It doesn't bother me. I guess I'm just not a Karen that's like, I have to share how I feel. You need to know my feelings about this. So, okay. Yeah. Whatever. If that's what gets you going, then rock and roll. So anyways, that's just kind of how I'm kind of stuck right now. I'm kind of got writer's block because it's just like, dude, I just don't care about the Explorer Pro. I literally was more I don't fish. I did. My father took me fishing once in my life. We went out. We had passes to go out on a day boat. We went out early in the morning. I must have been like 14 years old. Left off a Seal Beach pier. Went out for the day and went fishing with my dad. And he tried to show me a good time. And I think we rented fishing rods. I think we rented rods. Now, I've been fishing a lot since then, but my dad literally took me fishing once in my life. But I enjoyed the Trophy and the Fish Pro so much more than the Explorer Pro. I was happy to write those. I was excited. I ran home, knocked it out. The turnaround on that was killer. All right. Explorer Pro, I've been sitting on it for months. It's been dragging me. Well, thank you for the support. So again, that's just me personally. I have to get over my writer's block on that one. So sue me. If you guys have not been online, if you haven't been on Facebook, if you have not been on the Watercraft Journal Facebook page, you might not have seen Kawasaki threw everyone a late Christmas gift and announced that February 1st, 2 new motorcycles and 2 new Watercraft are going to be announced. I already know what they are. I've already talked to Kawasaki. I have hard confirmation of what they are. And I have been asked, because now, here's the funny thing. I've said this before. I can speculate all day long. All right? They don't care that I speculate. They're like, whatever, dude. We'd love to hear your ideas. That's fine. Toss it against the wall and see if it sticks. Okay, cool. But when I get hard confirmed from the horse's mouth leaks, like teases or early information, I now can't say anything. So I'm kind of like, And it is not the R. It is not the X2. It is something that I've been banging about for a while now that does not excite racers. But I feel has been really, really needed for the Kawasaki market share. Thank you, Henry. I appreciate the super chat. And so I'm very excited that the 2 machines that are coming out are going to be competitive with with the biggest offerings from Yamaha. Yamaha butters its bread with the HO and the HO Cruiser and those trim levels, and Cowie's coming after those, which I'm excited about. So I think the machine has all of the 2 tiers of that machine have all of the potential. And so I'm pretty excited about the idea of them coming after that market segment. And that's really more, that's as much as I can really share, because now I have an NDA and I don't burn those relationships. So I'm excited for it. Most of the performance guys are going to go, but I'm looking at total market share, and I'm really wanting to see Kawasaki step up in this market segment. So I think this will be something really good. Yes, Paul, it's identical. The Explorer Pro is a GTX 170 with a modified Fish Pro deck extension and a windshield. If you want to put a $400 windshield on the front of your ski, you go right ahead. I think it goes against everything, and everything about that ski goes against it, like what jet skiing should be, personally. So that's up to you, Paul. David writes, hope you had a great Christmas. Any Yamaha news? I will probably ride for New Year's 78 degrees on Sunday in Central Texas. No Yamaha news. Haven't heard from Yamaha. They don't talk to me. I didn't even get a confirmation that they received the trophy. The trophy is a little glass plaque that we have, black glass plaque that is engraved, laser etched and engraved. And it's been the same one since the very beginning. We just make a new one every year. And it might be sitting in the men's room for all I know. They did share they shared a Facebook post. I didn't see anything on Instagram, didn't see anything on Twitter, didn't see anything on Yamaha. Excuse me. I didn't see anything on YouTube except the fact they put out this 3-minute video called Women Rule the Water. And it's all about women driving boats and riding wave runners. And it is the weakest, limp-wristed attempt at woke identity politics. It's the saddest thing. I mean, it's so sad. It is so depressing. So go over to Yamaha's video and go check that out. You can vote if you like or leave a comment if you want. I'm not telling anyone to do it. But if you want to see them go totally woke, go watch it. All right. Thankfully, there's no one with green hair or purple hair or face tattoos or, bull rings in their nose. But the women rule the water thing is laughable. Not that women are not allowed to ride watercraft or drive a boat. I'm just saying it's total. It's total. It's so stupidly political. It's unbelievable that they did it. So now I'm not even really concerned about it. So yeah, go ahead and go check it out. So, you'll see that Kevin's not lying to you. So anyway, all right. So videos. Well, I did talk to Cowie this week about the release, about the announcement, and I should be going out late spring to go on a ride. Hopefully, it doesn't overlap with another major event. If it does, I can't miss it for the other magazine, and so it'll have to be pushed back. So that's simply, I have to double check my schedule to make sure that event is in the clear. but that's going to be a good one. But yeah, that I'm going to be test riding the two new Kawasaki's on that ride, which will be a good 100-mile-a-day ride, which will be good. That'll be a fun ride. So, all right, we got a super chat from Henry. Henry writes, I put at least 100 hours on my Superjet. Are you proud of me? I want to add a map tuner. Would I have to change the air box? I don't want to for obvious reasons. No. You don't need to change the air box. I wouldn't change the air box at all. Map tuner is just flash. Map tuner is just ECU flash. No, you're good. Yeah, you're fine. Go ahead and flash it. Yeah. Riva said you had to? Riva said you had to. Then don't use Riva's tune. There'll be 1,000 people who have tunes for that. Ask around. I support Riva. Riva's been a longtime fan of the magazine. All right. I've known Dave since I was 27. Would I have to do anything else to get the full benefit out of it? Yeah, TR1 needs the TR1 out of the box is really restricted. Dang it, Mark. Calling at the wrong time. I needed that phone call, but I'm right in the middle of this podcast. The TR1 is really choked down. Depends on how much you're trying to tune. But my understanding is the air ribbon, the air box itself should be okay. But yeah, that's a whole different topic. And I'm not talking about Superjets today. So that's as far as I'm going to take it. All right. So let's talk about today's topic. And I thought it'd be worth it. I don't know if you guys knew, but when I was 20 years old, I spent 2 years in Nicaragua, Central America, Nicaragua, specifically Nicaragua. I was assigned as a missionary for my church for 2 years as a proselyting missionary in Managua, Nicaragua. And I was basically assigned the whole country. I never went to the East Coast, never went to Blue Fields or anything like that on the East Coast, Mosquito Coast. But I was around the Managua area, a little bit south, and Masatepe, Rivas, Granada. Went up further towards Ciudad del Rio and Matagalpa, and that was pretty much the stretch, the area that I was in. And all right, I'm taking this one. Sorry, I'm gonna be really rude, but I gotta take this. Mark, hey, I'm sorry, I'm right in the middle of a podcast. What's going on? Yeah. No, that's fine. That's fine. I just want to make sure. I'm literally broadcasting to a couple hundred people right now, but they're seeing one end of my podcast with me on the phone with you. So it's the last one of the year. All right. So are we good for tomorrow? Well, what do you mean? How long? Okay. Well, how long do you think it'll take to do the carrier? Oh, well, I mean, if you want to, I mean, I'd love to record it. Oh, okay. Well, I'm not asking. Well, if you want to tear it apart and have it be bare and then we throw it together, I mean, that wouldn't take us a couple hours. You tell me. I'm a guest in your house. Okay. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. So you've already done a lot of work. Okay. Okay. No, you're already cooking, man. You're already 5 steps ahead, so that's fine. No, no, no. You don't need to set anything up. I got a little GoPro camera. That's all. That's all I was gonna do. And you don't have to talk on camera. I'll do all the talking. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You don't have to be. You don't have to worry about any of that. Well, what time do you want me over tomorrow? 10 o'clock. All right, I'll do that. You like donuts? You want me to bring you some donuts? Okay. All right, 10-4. Well, I'll see you tomorrow at 10. And don't sweat it, man. Don't worry about me. I'm a guest in your house. You're doing me a huge favor. All right, sir? All right, we'll see you soon. All right, adios. I'm building an 8 3/4 rear end for my 70 Plymouth Fury. A buddy of mine's helped me out, setting it up on. He's got a workbench that's all set up for it. I had to take that phone call. I'm sorry, guys. That was unavoidable. All right, sorry. And bribes with donuts. This guy Mark's a great guy. He's really solid people. Really, really solid people. If I could be half as even keeled as him, it'd be a blessing. All right. So let me go back to it. So I was a missionary down there for 2 years, and I never in my life had seen adverse poverty. I mean, true squalor in my life. And I'd seen homeless camps in LA and really poor people in Southern California. I'd seen poverty. I was, I'm not some sheltered kid, but I had never really seen like third world country poverty. And it's also a really good, it also is a lot of underpinning for my political views in regards to what communism does to a country and what it does to a people morally and what it does to them spiritually. It absolutely crushes the morale of a society, and it is truly, truly evil. Communism is truly, truly evil. And anyway, when I was there, what was the most eye-opening, really the most eye-opening aspect of being there. And I mean, I helped build homes. I was there during, 1998. It was Hurricane Mitch that went through, wiped out a lot of Central America. I was in a really hard-hit town. I was, quite frankly, part of the rescue crew when there was a mudslide and it wiped out a whole neighborhood. And I helped pull bodies out of the mud, including probably a 7-year-old little girl. And helped just load bodies onto trucks and get them out of there and help dig out homes and things like that. And really saw how the rest of the world was. That's why I'll never take America for granted. I know what this country. I know how stupid the lottery was that I won, being born into the family I was into, and the country I'm in, and the time period I was born into, and to be able to carve out a business and a career out of jet skis and classic cars. I mean, guys, we won the lottery. Okay. So anyways, being there was a real eye opener. But one thing that I learned and I encountered, thankfully, firsthand, and it was a wonderful lesson, was I met people, and I'll be honest, I was miserable. All right. I was miserable. It was hot, and I'd never been hotter. I'd never been more humid. When I moved to Florida, I'm like, it ain't Nicaragua. I mean, I never had experienced humidity and heat, and I just not like that. Just not to that degree. And it was just agonizing. And I was sick for 2 years straight. I have intestinal problems because of permanent intestinal problems because of my time in Nicaragua. So, I mean, like permanently, like, yeah, what is it? IBS, irritable bowel. That's what, like, everyone tries to diagnose me, whatever, you know. But anyways, what I was going to say in that was I encountered people, despite my misery, who lived in three wall cinder block homes with corrugated steel roofs, dirt floors, that lived their whole lives on military style cots, who were happy. And I mean, truly happy. They were happy people. And you would talk to them, and you're like, well, why are you so happy? And they're like, well, I'm upright, I'm breathing air, I have food to eat and clothes on my back, and I have my child or my spouse or my parent. And they had this spectrum of gratitude. And I went, oh, okay. That was the underlying beat to the whole thing whenever I met these people, was gratitude. They had grateful hearts. They were grateful people. They were able to, I mean, don't get me wrong. These guys aren't going to some 9 to 5. They're not going to some office building. They could barely write their name. All right. They had, no education. They had no income. And yet somehow were able to be happy. And I think about this right now. And I go, there are people who are miserable sods in this chat right now, who are absolute cranks. Don't get me wrong. I make a whole shtick out of being some cranky guy who's sick and tired of your questions and, blah, 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 blah. I get it. All right. It's fun. It's fun to play the crank. But I sit there and I go, I've put roofs on houses. I've poured asphalt driveways. I've done hard work. All right. I'm sitting here comfortable talking to a bunch of people about jet skis. This video will rack up a few thousand views. It'll earn me a couple $100. Woo. I do that enough. YouTube channel makes a couple $1,000s a month. Okay. Jet ski channel, or the jet ski magazine itself, makes a decent living if that was my solitary income. But I have another publication, another YouTube channel that does all right as well. And I'm sitting there and I'm like I said just a second ago, we won the lottery. Guys, every one of you who are listening to this on a Wi-Fi signal has won the lottery. All right. You were born where you were. You have the means that you have right now, whether you earned it, whether you inherited it, whether it landed in your lap, however way it landed in your lap. And I sit there at the end of this year and I go, things are pretty good. Things are pretty good. And I think about all the people who are in this community who are total cranks and miserable a-holes. All right? Don't get me wrong. Okay? Again, I say it myself. I'm like, okay, I got a bad attitude. I got a chip on my shoulder. XYZ. But I say it with a smile on my face. I'm laughing half the time. I mean, I really am. And I have to laugh because I had a very interesting exchange. 2 days ago. We had one of our community, and I'm talking the chat community. Every week, this guy's part of our chat. He's hilarious. All right. I consider him a friend to the channel. Is he my friend? No, I don't know him. I don't know him from Adam, but he's a friend to the channel. And he went on an absolute tirade at 2 a.m. because he didn't like the results of Watercraft of the Year. He didn't like it. He got upset about it because the ski that he bought this year was not even in the running. So he lost his freaking mind. And he went to half a dozen videos and started saying that Kevin Shaw was totally bought out by Yamaha and that Kevin Shaw is a shill. I said, okay. And then he went and he made a little YouTube short calling me out and calling me all sorts of names and mother effing me up and down the road. And then he started emailing me at 3 a.m. 3 a.m. Okay, I'm asleep. Don't get me wrong, I'm up late. I'm kind of a night owl, and I should be getting better sleep patterns. But he starts flipping out and sending me all this stuff. And at first, I got mad. Now, mind you, my moderators hit me up going, bro, I know we've seen this name a bunch of times. He comments on a bunch of stuff, but now he's like on the attack. And I'm like, well, show me what he's sending me. So I'm getting these screenshots and I'm getting all this stuff. And I go and I sit there and I'm like, and I look at all the emails that are coming in. And the thought comes to my mind. And maybe it's in the wrong. And you guys can be like, Kevin, you're being petty. I'm like, okay, fine, I'm being petty. But I said, if I had a brick and mortar store, if I had a restaurant, and this guy comes in through the front door, walks into the middle of my restaurant, and starts saying that we're putting rat poop in the food, or we're pissing in the soup, or Kevin Shaw does this, or XYZ, and starts trashing the owner and the product, why do you have a right to be in my restaurant? I'm going to escort you right out of my building. And so I was like, ban him. Kick him out. So we kicked him out. Said, all right, you're out. Now, don't get me wrong, we put him on probation. But I mean, that was my initial reaction. I'm like, I don't want him there. I don't need him crapping on me. You don't want to be here? Get out. You don't have a right to be here. You don't have a right. All right? You want to go into a Walmart and start screaming at all the customers saying that Walmart's trash. Walmart's going to escort you out with security. They're going to call the police. All right? You might be wrong. You might be right. Okay? But you don't have a right to be here. So we banned him. And then I wrote him an email. And I said, hey, heads up. I'm going to be real honest with you. Yamaha doesn't give a rat's ass that they won Watercraft of the Year. They really don't. It's just the points shook out that way. I did the math. Everyone who voted turned their points in, and the math shook out. And anyone who watched the video or read the article, for that matter, would say what's the first paragraph, the first thing that is in that story, or the first 5 words that I say when I start talking about it? Was the skis that I like personally didn't win. It's not about me. It's about the judges, because I didn't want it to be about me. And I start laughing because I'm like, buddy, you care more about Watercraft of the Year than I do. You care more about the results of Watercraft of the Year than Yamaha does. And to think that Yamaha is going to pay me for it, and what do they get out of it? Just for shits and giggles. What do they get out of it? They get a $100 plaque. They get an article written about their ski. And if they want to use the title, they can use the title. Sea-Doo's used the title. Kawasaki's used the title in their advertising. They put it on their website. Yamaha did it once when they won. I think they won like 2 years in a row for the GP. Okay. Does it help them sell skis? I don't know. You guys tell me if it helps them sell skis. Because I don't think so. But maybe it does. Because it looks good. So anyways, I wrote him back and I'm like, you care more about this so much that you threw a public temper tantrum, made yourself look like a complete doofus, and you got yourself banned over what? Watercraft of the Year? I didn't swear at him. I didn't call him names. I didn't go, F you, dude. I hope you get freaking cancer. Screw you. Like every other jackwagon in a Facebook group. All right? And I've seen the Facebook groups. I've watched you guys argue. I've seen what people have said about me. I've seen what other YouTube channels have said about me. I've seen it. I'm not deaf to it. But here's the difference. I don't care because they don't matter. They don't matter. They don't affect my happiness. All right? And that's ultimately what any of this is about. Does it affect your happiness? Doesn't matter. And guess what? You're in charge of your happiness. I saw people who had nothing. They had nothing in this world. At least what you and I would judge as anything. And they had smiles on their faces. And they sang, they gave prayers of gratitude. And I'm sitting looking at people who are so miserable. That they're like, oh, that stupid ginger. Oh! And they got so upset. And it was so funny. And I'm like, dude, I don't care. And it's not an arrogant, like, screw you, I don't care. It's like, it literally doesn't matter. It has no pertinence to my existence whatsoever. I could walk away from this tomorrow and be dedicated 100% to the car magazine and be like, okay, it's a little dip in my income, but I'll recoup it. I'll put all my fire towards the car magazine and I'll recoup it and some. I'm not bitter about it. I'm not upset about it. I don't. It's not sour grapes. I'm like, oh, okay. And I have to laugh because I wrote that letter. I wrote that email to him, and I'm like, bro, I don't know why you care so much. I don't know why it affects you that much. And he wrote back an apology, and he goes, hey, listen, man, I'm really sorry. He's like, I wasn't in my right mind, and I had tied one on, and I got all upset, and I've retracted everything. And I'm like, hey, dude, that's fine. That's cool. You're a friend to the channel. I got you. You're on probation for a week. And that's just because that's standard protocol. And he's like, okay, no worries. See you. And I'm like, okay, cool. And I just kind of laughed. And I was like, okay, no worries, man. No, again, I'm not bitter about it. I'm not pissed. It is what it is. But I have to go back to something. We're talking about jet skis. And I've gotten upset. And the comment section on videos have really riled some people up. And they've gotten real mad at me or at Cody or whoever. I had one other guy for a while who was really salty, putting some comments out and just rubbing people the wrong way because the comment section is awful on YouTube. It's designed to be awful. And I've said multiple times, like, you guys have questions, you can email me. My contact information is everywhere. All right? Email me. That's fine. If you have a real technical question, email me. But when I write back, and I don't write back to everyone, I don't, because some of them don't need answers. Some of them don't need answers. But when I write back to people, I'm like, hey, unless I'm really not terribly sure, and I'll say, I'm like, hey, listen, I'm not terribly sure about this, but from what I've heard, it's blank. Okay. But if I go, it's X, run with it. Or say Kevin's full of crap and get a second opinion. And by all means, get a second opinion. So all that has to be said is this year has been very, very interesting because we're coming into the 10th year of the Watercraft Journal. And before Watercraft Journal, I ran Personal Watercraft Illustrated. And I raced during my time at PWI. I raced a little bit in the beginning of Journal. And it was, I wasn't in the, if I was living in California or Florida, I'd be more active racing. Tennessee, I'm okay. So, whatever. And then I raced a little bit before PWI, very, very little. I did Catalina and I did one other event. But ultimately, I always think of the big takeaway that there is nothing. There is no more superfluous purchase in the world than a jet ski. There is no more. It's not like you can use a jet ski out on the farm. Some guys are like, oh yeah, I'm going to buy a four-wheeler. Yeah, and they go out and they get a Banshee or they go out and get some, some hot rod four-wheeler. And the wife's like, wait, that's a toy. Like, no, I'll use it on the field and I can tow the trailer behind it and I can go feed the goats and blah, 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 blah. Okay, fine. Well, that makes sense. And Gen X, it's the Gen X Journal, Heinz. I was born in 78. But motorcycle. Oh, hey, listen, great fuel mileage. I can ride it to work. I can commute. Jet ski, there's not a lot of people who can use it for other means other than just goofing off. All right. Yeah, don't get me wrong. There's the there's the lifeguards and there's the, there's some police, water police. But really, a jet ski is a jet ski and a jet ski is a toy. There's very, very few applications of a personal watercraft that is not blatantly a toy. Let's just be real honest here. Okay. Let's not fool ourselves. It's a toy. So the fact that people get so bound up, so absolutely up their own butt over Sea-Doo sucks and Yamaha's better, or Yamaha sucks and Cowie's better, or Cowie sucks and Sea-Doo's better. Rah, 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 rah. And all the freaking drama and all the, all the BS that I had to deal with OEs this year and people who had an axe to grind with me, I sit there and I go, this doesn't matter. This doesn't matter to my happiness. And I would hope that a lot of people would feel the same. It's meant for fun. It's an escape. It's escapism. It's meant to be fun. It's meant to be entertainment. All right. And that's why I go back to, like I started with, my critique of the Explorer Pro and my critique of overcomplicated infotainment systems on Watercraft. Because if the entire purpose of these stinking things is meant to just get out of the house, get out into the open air, get out into nature, and just breathe, and maybe realign your world a little bit, maybe find a little bit of peace and solace in this insanity that we call life, why would you want to be on your phone? Why would you want to be listening to the same music that you listen to all the time? Why would you want to have the experience of being out in nature be muted and insulated? Big windscreen and, heated this and this and this and this. And yeah, you're going to get chilly. Yeah, you're going to get wet. Yeah, you're going to have wind-blown hair. Yeah, you're probably going to have wind burn on your face, or you might get sunburned, or you might get a funny tan line. Who cares? Go outside. Feel some grass. Get a little wet. Be in nature. Be a human. What the crap, people? I don't understand it. I don't understand. I just don't. Because here's the funny thing, is that maybe it's because I've dedicated too much of my life to these stupid things. Maybe it's the fact that half of my life has been dedicated to jet skis, that I sit there and I go, I'm not fooled as to what these are. These are toys. These are expensive toys. They're meant to be fun. And if you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong. And so when I see that people are absolutely insulating and muting the experience, I go, well, then why are you out? Why don't you go drive your minivan around? That's more comfortable. Go find a road you've never been down. Drive that. Listen to your satellite radio and turn your seat warmer on and roll your windows up so you don't hear any wind noise, and just drive your freaking Toyota minivan around. What's the difference? They're on water? Who cares? You don't want to be wet. Who cares? What difference does it make? Does that make sense? Am I the only one who's thinking this? So yeah, to the guys who go out, like Henry went out and bought a stand-up. It's his first stand-up. Okay, don't get me wrong. Henry's been wearing me out for the last few months, but I'm happy to talk to him. I'm happy to answer his questions, and I'm glad that he's taken the licking that I've given him, because I've treated him like a little brother this whole time. All right, same way my older brother beat the crap out of me. But I'm elated that he's like, I dropped the big giant supercharged ski and I went out and bought a stand-up, and I'm riding stand-ups, and I'm like, great. And he's like, well, I'm not really good at it. I'm like, you're better than I am. Oh, that's not. No, I'm a terrible stand-up rider. So the more hours he racks up on it, the happy I am for him. And I do that the exact same way. I do that to anyone who's like, you know what? I want something a little bit. I want to go ride a stand-up, or I want to go ride a classic, or I want to go do XYZ. Go do it. Go do it. Go do it. I cheer you on. And I think that's the entire point. All right. Think about the time spent learning how to ride a stand-up and the athleticism required. All right. It's a workout. It's not sitting on your butt and going cruise control. I'm going to put my playlist on. Boom, 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 boom. As you drive around with the windscreen on. Oh, I'm so comfortable. Oh, it's like I'm not even on the water. Oh, great. Boy, that sounds like fun to me. Seriously. Why are you doing this? Why are you out? Go sit in your car. Go get in your car. Well, I want to be out on the lake. Why? Well, I don't want to get wet. I don't want to feel the wind on my face. I don't want to be chilly. Okay. Get in your car. Go sit in your car. I don't get it. All right. It's like driving an old car. I laugh. I think I talked to you guys a little bit about me doing Power Tour this year and having a total unmitigated failure of doing Power Tour. And I mean, don't get me wrong. Dustin Farthing's dad, Phil Farthing. I've known Phil as long as I've known Dustin. Phil Farthing and I have the same birthday in June. And so we always send each other snarky little like, hey, happy birthday, Ginger. Hey, happy birthday, you'll fart, stuff like that. Yeah, whatever. And for his birthday, just before, Dustin bought his dad a brand new C8 Corvette. And Phil knew I was gearing up to do Power Tour in my Charger. And he goes, hey, you doing it in the Charger? I go, yeah. He goes, oh, that'll be bitching. I'll see you there. And I go, what are you driving? He goes, oh, I got a brand new Corvette. I'm like, oh, shit. He's like, what? And I'm like, whatever. You're going to cruise. Sit there with your climate control and, cruise control and just go click. Have one finger on the steering wheel. listen to satellite radio. 71 degrees, nice and cool in the car. Power electric assist steering, all that kind of stuff. I was like, you might as well drive a Cadillac. And I was teasing him about it. And it was funny because I was like, don't get me wrong, I own a Dodge magazine. So it's like, how many guys are out there on Hellcats? How many guys are out there in Hellcat Durangos, all-wheel drive burnouts and Hellcat Durangos, going out there in red-eye Chargers, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, a brand new Corvettes, brand new Camaros, brand new Mustangs, Tesla Plaids that run 9 seconds. I'm like, listen, man, I can't say no to these cars. I can't sit there and go, oh, poo-poo. But in the same thread, I'm driving a 69 Charger that rides like a Conestoga wagon with, 410 gears on a Detroit locker with 30-inch tall slicks on it, picking up everything on the road, kicking it into my wheel well, and just ringing it out at $3,000 on the highway with an overdrive. And I laugh because I'm like, in my head, Power Tour, and this is how screwed up I am. Power Tour should require some discomfort. You should not be in the lap of luxury doing Power Tour. You should be like, oh, I got to watch my oil pressure. Or, hey, listen, we're running a little hot. I got to slow down. Or they're just, air conditioning doesn't work. Or there isn't air conditioning or something. There should be something that should be a sacrifice in my head. In my mind, there should be something that requires some sacrifice to do Power Tour. Besides, I'm spending a lot of money on gas. No. If you're out there in a freaking Tesla with auto drive on, I'm sorry. That's not Power Tour. But anyways, so I was laughing about the whole thing because I'm like, there should be some sort of sacrifice of comfort. There should be an exchange there. And in the same thread, riding a jet ski should have that kind of exchange, that kind of sacrifice. And I don't know. I just sit there and I'm like, I've been harping on the whole idea of like, we've gone too far. We need to go back to less comfortable skis, less cushy, something to that effect. And people are like, oh, you're crazy, dude. That's the march of progress. Oh, that's the march of progress. I'm like, oh, okay, if you say so. That's fine. People aren't going to agree with me. I get it. Doesn't hurt my feelings. I don't sit there and go, screw that guy. Oh, that makes me so mad. Oh. Okay. But a little bit of me is like, hey, listen, I think we've lost the plot. And I mean, my favorite jet ski of the year. What was my personal favorite new 2022 jet ski? Who's a fan? Who knows? Write it in. Kevin Shaw's personal favorite. Joseph, you got it. Thank you. 310X. 310X had way less gobbledygook on it. Lower center of gravity. It's my favorite hull. Does it handle or does it cut buoys better than the GP? No. Does it have better storage than the FX? No. Does it, is it the best thing? Explorer Pro Hines. You're a smart ass. But, yeah, to me, that was my favorite. My personal favorite. Is it yours? No. Do I expect it to be yours? No. Do I expect everyone to be like, yes, sir, I'm going to go out and buy that? No. Doesn't matter. Chad, you're going to get banned. You don't put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. That's funny. So yeah, I had to. But yeah, so I mean, again, it's my personal take. I try to share why. I hopefully I'm pretty clear on a lot of that stuff. It's not a mystery to anyone. And people won't agree with me. All right. There's guys out there who are like, RXTX 2019 was the best jet ski ever built by mankind. Really? Oh yeah. Oh God, it's just the best. Okay. All right. You say so. And that's fine. Whatever. You're not going to convince those people. And no matter of logic is going to win that conversation. It's like you sit there and talk politics with someone and they are drinking the Kool-Aid. And you're like, okay, well, tell me why we're better off today than we were 4 years ago. Oh, yeah. Oh, God. Okay. Yeah. Walk me through. Pretend I'm 5 years old. Walk me through why we're better off today than we were 4 years ago. Oh, because Orange Man was bad. And he was so bad because he was orange. And Orange Man. Okay. Well, say so. Got anything else to back that up? And that's the big kicker. I would hope that all persons here, including myself, would all be willing to engage in a conversation that questioned something we were passionate about. That first we would be willing to participate. Because I'm sure you guys have been on Instagram or been on TikTok or even Facebook, and you've seen like man on the street, and they go, "Hey, I'd like to ask you a question about politics," and they're like, "I don't even want to talk to you." Oh, okay, that's fine, that's cool. But I would hope that every one of us would be willing to participate in the conversation regarding a topic that you or I are passionate about, and that you or I would be capable of backing up our point. If you are incapable of backing up your position, whatever it is, I don't care if you say the Chicago Red Sox are the best team that has ever been created, and I will die a Red Sox fan. And you go, okay, well, tell me why. And you can't back that up, or you can back that up. I want to hear you back it up. Okay, great. It doesn't matter what position you take. I threw that out there as a joke, all right? Just the most random, stupid thing. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Chicago Red Sox, I don't know. Sorry, I got that. I know I got that wrong, but I just threw it out there. I don't play sports ball. Dad didn't have us play with balls. We made things with welders. Anyway, so I learned to throw a football when I was 19 years old. I had a roommate teach me. I never thrown a football before I was 19. Anyway, so again, my point in all this, and I know this silly rant and stuff, is can't believe I said that. That's really funny. My point in all of this is that if you are Boston Yankees, yeah, I know. I totally. Ugh. Anyways, so I'm really embarrassed about the Chicago Red Sox. It's Cincinnati. Anyways, be able to back up whatever you're passionate about and do so in an articulate manner. Be able to do so in an articulate manner. All right. If you say The 2022 Sea-Doo RX PX is the best jet ski ever made by mankind. Be prepared mentally to give good reason why. That doesn't matter what it is. You could say it was the Yamaha EX Deluxe is the best jet ski ever made. Okay, great. Say why. If you say this truck was the best truck, or this car was the best car, or this pair of shoes, it doesn't, whatever arbitrary thing, I would hope that you guys would be able to back it up with facts. Or a good, you can make a good emotional argument. Is the 1969 Dodge Charger the best car ever made? Absolutely not. But I can give you good reasons why I think it is. I will happily share every wart and every corner cut and everything the factory did wrong. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because I know that car inside and out. I built it. Every bolt, rivet, screw, besides undoing spot welds, I took every single thing off that car and started from scratch. And I've done that with a couple cars. So, Adventure State. Wait. Heinz. FX SVHO. Best rough water hull. Changed my mind. No, you give your argument. I've done tens of thousands of hours sharing my evidence. You tell me yours. Good. Make a good argument. Not right now. I don't really care. I'm not interested in having a conversation. But again, I brought this up, and I know a couple of guys were like, talking about jet skis. What are you talking about this crap for? Okay, leave. I don't care. If you're upset, go turn on Disney Channel and go get indoctrinated. Go do whatever you want. Ain't gonna hurt me. But what I'm saying is, know where you stand. And the things that you value and the things that you love, know them inside and out. If you don't have a definite position on it, and someone challenges you on it, don't get upset. And go, okay, tell me why you think. Maybe you make a good argument. You make a good argument, hey, best ideas win. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with having an exchange of ideas. And if my positions don't add up or do not beat yours, you make the better argument. Now the question is do I have the hubris to not accept? Do I have the hubris? Do I have the ego to be like, well, screw you anyway? Well, okay. If you say so. But I just would hope that we would not let anyone or anything dictate our happiness. Don't. Please keep doing personal watercraft into the summer season. Yeah, I'm not closing Watercraft Journal anytime soon. My 13-year-old daughter wants it. So in 5 years' time, it might be her sitting in this chair instead of me. Yeah. So yeah. I just okay. I was going to say this, but anything worth having in life requires constant care, like constant maintenance. You want to be in good shape, you got to work out constantly. You got to eat healthy. You got to be active. You got to take care of your body. You want a healthy relationship with your spouse, you got to have open communication. You got to have a date night. You got to actually be physical with one another. You actually got to have a good friendship. It takes work. You want to have a good relationship with your kids. Same story. Takes a lot of work, takes a lot of communication, takes patience, takes effort. You want to work hard, you want to make a lot of money, guess what? Takes a lot of grinding. You're going to have to grind to make a lot of money. Okay. You want to start your own business? Prepare for sweat equity. All that kind of stuff. Everything in life that is worth a damn takes constant effort. You want to have a good relationship with God and have a good, healthy spiritual life, takes just as much effort. All right. Meditation, scripture study, whatever you want it to be. Okay. And I'm not trying to make this about religion, but if you're a Shinto Buddhist, it still takes effort. All right. I don't care how you find peace, but it takes effort. All right. All of that takes effort. And the funny thing about it is that the Watercraft Journal, to be what it is, takes a lot of tending, like a garden. Takes a lot of effort. And the problem is that I have, in the last 2 years, dedicated more time to the video channel than I have the actual magazine. And the magazine has slipped. Content, we just do basically news, and occasionally the features that I write we don't do a lot of reviews, haven't done a lot of events, have not done a lot of big group rides. I haven't written a lot. I really haven't. And that is a matter of time management and effort, and quite frankly, energy. And my concern has been manifested in the fact that readership has gravitated over to the YouTube channel and has starved or has cannibalized the magazine. So the magazine is not getting as much readership, but the YouTube channel, of course, has gone berserk and has gotten killer views and readership and blah, blah, blah. So, is it a trade? Yeah. Could there be more? Certainly. Does the current environment economically have an impact? Damn right it does. Right now, great comment came in earlier today, and that one came through. I saw it myself. It was on an older video, and it was about really the changes in MSRPs and the supply chain problems. Dealers are now sitting on inventory. Now, don't get me wrong, it's the end of December. But they're starting to see a precipitous drop in purchases. There is a nosedive happening. And that nosedive is happening because people are starting to get real nervous about their work. They're starting to get real nervous about their paycheck. They're starting to get real nervous about their monthly bills going way high. All right. Real inflation is starting to hit. The cost of groceries are going up. The cost of gas is going back up. All right. The cost of heating fuels and oils are going up. All their regular expenses are going up. And that is the reported interest rate is 7+. We're looking closer at 9.8. And I'd like you to look at the interest rates on loans and on credit cards right now. They're over 20%. This is Reagan era credit card interest rates. It's getting a little gnarly. All right. Yeah, mortgage rates. Mortgage rates are pretty high. And it doesn't even matter if you've got a 750 credit score, your interest rates are bananas. And all these things are factors on how people are spending their money. And right now, like I said, there's no more unnecessary purchase in the world than a jet ski. What does that mean for next year? What that means is we're going to start seeing a decline in the used market. at least price-wise. We're going to see a lot of people start selling Watercraft. Have you guys been paying attention to the used car market? They are impounding, or repossessing, I should say. They are repossessing. Right now, AAA said close to 60,000 cars a month. Banks are repossessing, according to AAA, 60,000 cars a month. That is not a good sign of an economy. That's no good. And I think it's going to get worse. So I think the best thing you guys can do is practice a little bit of contentment with the blessings that you've got. You know, there's an old song, "Count Your Many Blessings." But start considering being happy with what you got. Do I say don't buy a new ski? No. If you can, do it. If you can, do it. If you can pay cash, oh, beautiful. Do it. All right? If you got it, do it. Yeah. If you got cash, buy cash, Mike. 100%. If you can't, maybe reconsider. Okay? But I think there's smart moves out there. I think there's smart decisions to be made. And the problem is that we don't live in a smart society. We live in a society that is gratification first. Let's put it that way. And that instant gratification mentality is what destroys a society. It's cancer. All right. The healthiest sign, or the sign of a healthy society, are old men who plant trees that they know they'll never sit in the shade of. I think I butchered that quote, but it's the idea that people try to make things just a little better, even though they won't likely enjoy the benefit of it. And unfortunately, I don't think we see a lot of that. So again, I think there's a couple takeaways at the end of this year. And the first and foremost is you decide if you're happy. And it doesn't take a lot to make a person happy. What does make a person happy is gratitude. And I'll tell you what, I don't end these videos with the whole, like, I love you guys and you guys make it so great. And I probably should. I probably should express more, kind of genuine love and, I'm actually choosing to right now is express gratitude. I'm grateful that we've been able to build a community and we've been able to sit around and talk and have these fun conversations. I'm grateful for it. I think it's fun. Is it a pill? Is it a chore? Sometimes. But I think a lot of people, I've gotten letters from people who are like, dude, this is more fun sitting around in these stupid conversations, and I tune in and it's just a hoot, and I'm grateful for it. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm surprised, but sure, I'm glad you're enjoying it. And I'm glad that, what I did was of some entertainment to you. So I'm grateful for that. And I'm grateful for a lot of the friendships that I've developed through the magazine and through my time with jet skis. I've made no bones about the fact that a lot of the guys I do mud bug with, all right, Billy and Gina and David and guys, there's so many people oh, geez, the Mudbug crew, and grateful for Greg and Jerry Gaddis, and I'm grateful for so many friends that I have. I've made the comment. I mean, I consider Tim McKercher and Sea-Doo a friend. It's a business friendship. We don't go out for fun, and but I've been invited to his house, and I know his family, and I've been welcomed into their home. And John Rawl at Kawasaki, I made the joke. I was like, when John Rawl retires, it's going to be really hard for me to not just pack it up, because John Rawl, I consider a very good friend of mine, and John's in his 60s. He's tired. Poor guy needs a break. And but I'm grateful for these people, and a lot of the really good friends that I had when I was racing and when I was doing PWI, a lot of you guys, a lot of these guys are out. They're out of jet skis. Craig Warner, Ross Champion, Mike Fulmer, Nick Vanis to that degree. Johnny, what was Johnny's last name? It's going to come to me. I can't think of the top of my head. But there's just all these guys. Just amazing people that I've encountered, and I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful I've been able to make a career out of this. So I just want to say thank you. All that rambling is to say thank you to you guys who do this. Thank you for all the super chats. Thank you for people who buy hoodies and shirts and jerseys and long hauler kits and subscribe to the newsletters and comment on videos and comment on articles and comment on the social media posts and all the guys who've been involved. I know I'm talking to an older audience. I wouldn't say mature, because that implies, emotional maturity. But I'm grateful for all of you guys. This has been a lot of fun. I hate that I'm the magazine. And I shouldn't say that, because I got a team of people who write. I got wonderful people who write for me. And Jared and Ocean and Jessica. And oh my gosh. I mean, it's just so many people who write for the Watercraft Journal. And I want more people to write. Chris, Chris helped out a ton. And so again, it just, I'm grateful for all of you guys. So I wanted to say thank you. I'm going to wrap it up. Speaking of Chris had a super chat. As I told you before, when I was shopping for my first ski, most content I read and watched came from Watercraft Journal. Before I knew you. Thanks for doing all this. This is not a butt kiss post. That's funny. Henry, did you see my question? I think you'll really like it. Henry's question. What's Henry's question? Henry, see how long it would be before the head gasket fails. I don't know. I'm not answering super jet shit. I'm not answering your super jet questions. Email me if you got super jet questions. So anyways, guys, thanks again. I really appreciate it. I think this has been fun. I think I'm going to be delayed by a month on the whole guest software thing. I literally have not touched it this month. I haven't. I've been too damn busy doing other stuff. You guys saw me take a phone call for the other magazine, the other video stuff that we're producing. You kind of jumped the gun, so my video is going to kind of suck. But, oh well. So, anyway, we'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks again for tuning in. I wish you all a very happy New Year. I hope you all had a very good, very happy Christmas. Merry Christmas. Happy Christmas to our British friends. Merry Christmas to everyone else who's not insane. It's Merry Christmas. Get it right. And I don't have a stance on it. I'm just being snarky. All right, guys. Thanks again. We'll talk soon. Have a good one.